record a message to you about the cultural impact of Five Nights at Freddy's.
Now that bit's done, Five Nights at Freddy's started out as an indie game, a point and click. It was created by Scott Cawthon. The game was inspired by Chuck E. Cheese, but it was turned into a horror. But what made this game so special? Why did it boom into what it is now? Well, that's what we're here to talk about. The first point I would like to bring up is MacPat, also known as the channel Game Theory. Game Theory created part of the biggest audience for this game. He did theories on the lore of this game. And Scott Cawthon hid this stuff everywhere. So this created a huge community of people who wanted to figure out what this game was about. And they compiled that it was about a man named William Afton who killed children and stuffed them in animatronics. Some spooky stuff, huh? The second point I would like to bring up is Let's Players. These are people on YouTube who like to play games and show it to their audience, usually commenting and showing what they like about the game and their reactions. The biggest Let's Players I can think of are Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, and PewDiePie. I myself watched a lot of Jacksepticeye playing it, but I had a lot of friends who loved watching Markiplier play it. The combination of the two, Game Theory and Let's Players, created the community we have now, which is still in full force, by the way, after 9 years. They're still creating fan art, fan games, and fan theories. One of the coolest facts of all is that Five Nights at Freddy's created an entirely new genre. This is called the mascot horror genre. The mascot horror genre is defined as a subgenre of horror that's often made to attract younger audiences, characterized by a recognizable, usually marketable mascot. Games in this genre may rely on cheap jump scares and are likely to have extremely convoluted lore. Remind you of anything? Yep, fnaf. And there's tons of examples of these games. There's Bendy and the Ink Machine, there's Poppy Playtime, there's My Friendly Neighborhood, all fantastic games. And my last point I'd like to make is the most recent movie. I just saw it yesterday. It's pretty good. It doesn't describe the lore perfectly, but it's a good general summary of the first game for general audiences. I think it had some fantastic acting, and it was generally just a fun watch. Wasn't that scary though, surprisingly. But what was best about the movie is that it was clearly made for the fans. It was a love letter from Scott Cawthon, the creator. It was full of references. It had special people like MacPat I've mentioned earlier. He was in it. A guy named Corey, he was a Let's Player. And it had references from other games. It was awesome. Five Nights at Freddy's once started as a simple point and click, with simple mechanics, closing a door, turning on a light. Now it's blown up. Multiple games, and a new movie, and a huge community. Talk about a cultural impact. Thank you for joining me today, and stay safe out there, and watch out for Freddy.